Then Donald Trump's recent executive order to end birthright citizenship failed its first legal hurdle. Today, a federal judge issued a temporary restraining order to block it. The judge called the executive order blatantly unconstitutional. 24 Democratic-led states, including us here in Nevada with our AG and some cities, have filed lawsuits against the order. The lawsuits claim that Trump's order actually violates the constitutional right of citizenship to all children born in the United States. The judge granted the request to halt the policy for the next 14 days. We're also looking into how the Clark County School District handles immigration status of students. So according to a statement from CCSD, the district does not check any student's immigration status and says that it is not responsible for enforcing federal immigration law. CCSD says if immigration enforcement comes to a school, they would ask for the reason of the visit, and if there is a concern, the CCSD Police Department would then be contacted. CCSD Police are also not responsible, they say, for any enforcement as well of federal civil immigration laws. Well, President Trump signed numerous executive orders tackling immigration, as we've been telling you, from Remain in Mexico to reducing refugee admissions. This means that there are plenty of changes when it comes to immigration policy. And joining us now to break it all down for us and what this means for immigrant communities and even those who are not in the immigrant community here in Southern Nevada, we have immigration attorney Misha Moulton. Misha, thank you so much for joining us. A lot has happened in the president's first week in office, and it's not even done yet, and we're only on Thursday. Let's go ahead and talk about, first of all, this ending the birthright citizenship that we just talked about and how there was this first legal hurdle that he did not cross.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So this is going to probably be President Trump's biggest hurdle because it's, based around the Constitution. So just looking at everything that's been going on in the news today, one of the main things that the Attorney General's office is saying is that people are being stripped of their most, foundational right, which is the right to have rights. So they did definitely take a very extreme measure with this restraining order, considering it's not supposed to actually go into effect until the end of February. But they feel like they needed to act quickly, and it was granted by the judge.
Okay, so you said that would be the biggest hurdle. Let's talk about Remain in Mexico. And this is basically him saying that if you want to seek refuge, you need to stay in Mexico. You can't just come here and try to figure it out along the way.
Yes, so the previous administration had worked to try to keep families together, and they actually had an act that was called exactly that. And the purpose behind it was, these types of immigration cases can take years, in some cases upwards of 10 years. And so during that time, they prefer that, these spouses, along with their kids, are all together and not separated in different countries. But this recent change makes sure that the individual has to remain in Mexico while their asylum case is pending and progressing.
Right. Where do you see that being problematic? I know some people escape here hoping to, escape some horrific situations. Is that the whole point of them coming here first and kind of waiting it out and going through the legal process?
The entire point of asylum and the refugee program is that these are people that are trying to escape war and persecution and other issues in their country that just make it unlivable for them. So the entire purpose of it is that they're seeking refuge in the United States where it's much safer for them and their families. So advising them that these programs are either canceled or that they have to remain in that situation makes it incredibly difficult, and in some situations, it's, not safe at all.
Let's talk about mass deportations. President Trump, when he was on the campaign trail, he made this a promise. And what are we seeing in light of that? I know he's also saying that schools and churches are no longer safe havens for folks, and that, he thinks it's okay for law enforcement and immigration officials to go and raid those places if need be.
So I think this is going to be another major hurdle aside from the birthright aspect, because this is going to require, state intervention as well and support from the states that he's asking for this to be done with. So it's local law enforcement, and he's asking local law enforcement and military to come into schools, churches, do, stop and searches basically. And it's going to require everyone to cooperate with him for this to be able to actually get done on a much larger scale. So I think he has a general idea of how he wants this to work. And I think we're hearing that some of this is already starting in certain states. But I think that this is going to create some major constitutional issues, and it's definitely going to create some human rights issues as well.
Are you hearing from the immigration or immigrant community here in Southern Nevada? Are they concerned? Are they fearful?
Yes, definitely. I have been quite busy the last couple of days. I think that there's just a lot of unrest and a lot of people that are just really weary of the recent changes that have happened, and they're uncertain with their applications that are pending. There's other people that were just waiting to see how things were going to kind of unfold before they decided what they were going to do. And so now there's just a lot of uncertainty, and people are just trying to figure out what steps are next for them and their families.
Okay, Misha Moulton, we could talk all day about this because there's so many different layers, but unfortunately we're out of time. Thank you so much for lending your expertise and helping us break down some of the changes to come.